Whoops. So, how's everyone doing? I think it's been 4 days. No, wait. Has it been 3? No, 4 days. 4 days since I last streamed anything. It's now March 9th. Can't believe we're already in March. So I got a couple things I want to talk about, just a couple stories to mention. Well, seems like everyone's busy tonight. Well, at least I got confirmed the audio's decent. Yeah, I did start a little earlier tonight, mostly because I got nothing else to do. It's been a long day for me, like a really long day. I wonder if the mic picked any of that up. Anyways, so today... Hold on. Alright, so today I did possibly the most difficult midterm of my life. So, you know, it's the middle of midterms week for me right now. That's why I haven't been streaming for the past few days. And let me tell you, I'm so glad that I actually quote-unquote studied and reviewed the material last night. Because the content for the midterm I just did today, you know, was a lot of theory, a lot of knowledge stuff, and a lot of calculations. I mostly studied the math portions, but I totally didn't study any of the theory parts at all. So early this morning, when I did my midterm, the first thing I did was I went straight for the math questions, the long answer ones, and I got those done, while knowing how to calculate them was still fresh in my mind. So I did that, regardless if they were correct or not. Like that, I don't care, as long as I did something, as long as I wrote down some calculations. Which, you know, very glad that I actually reviewed, because if I didn't know how to do any of that math, I would have had like 6 long answer questions completely blank. And that would have been like 30 marks gone. Stupid drift. Stupid drift. So I did all the math. That's the first thing I did, regardless if it's correct or not. I don't care. And then, you know, I just guessed majority of the multiple choice. There were a few of them that I knew how to calculate. Like some of the multiple choice ones also required me to do some math. So, you know, because I reviewed the night before and I made myself some notes, I knew how to do those. But a good chunk of them I just mostly guessed. And then there were the long and short answer questions. I bullshitted my way through majority of those. 5 to 10 minutes? Okay. But yeah, I completely made up some garbage to put for the short and long answer ones. Hey, yo, Shiny? I wish. To be honest, I put down like 1 or 2 things for the long answer, but it's like so insignificant, I damn near just left it blank. And same goes for 2 of the short answers. So I left basically blank 2 short answers and 1 long answer. And that right there is 20 marks off already from the exam that is out of 100. Seems shiny to me. No, it ain't. See, it's a good thing that I'm doing this here instead of me just playing on handheld like I do all the time. On handheld, you know, I gotta constantly adjust the brightness. If I'm in a bright room or I'm in a darker room, I gotta adjust the brightness. But here, I can't adjust the brightness, see? I do this, there's no brightness setting, it's just sleep mode or airplane mode. So if I play it here, the brightness is set. So if it shines, I can tell the difference. But on handheld, I really gotta like pay attention. How was your midterm? You could BS question instead of leaving them blank. Well, that's the thing. I sat there, I was running out of time, and I really couldn't think of anything. You know, it was questions like, name characteristics of this, and name like a couple of advantages and disadvantages. I'm like, I can't think of shit. I don't know what the characteristics are, so I don't know what's good or bad about them. It's a very, very good thing that my professor allowed us to have a formula sheet with us. Like if we wrote down a bit of notes for ourselves, like how to calculate the formulas, like what the formulas are. Thank God she allowed us to do that, because originally we weren't allowed that. I don't think even in high school we were allowed that. High school, you had to know the formulas by heart. You know, stuff like frickin' Pythagorean theorem. Calculate a parabola. It's like, I don't know those formulas anymore. I wasn't allowed no formula sheet back then. So last night, before I did my midterm this morning, I wrote down all the formulas I need, plus a couple of little pointers that I need. Like, if this pops up for a multiple choice question that also requires math, how do I calculate that? I'm glad I wrote that down too. Calculate the quadratic formula? I don't remember what the quadratic formula is. So that was basically my midterm this morning. I straight up went for all the math questions first. I did like all 6 of them first thing. And then after I did that, I did the multiple choice. And then I went to the short and long answer questions. But technically what I did first. Alright, so here's what I did first. I wrote down all the long answer math questions in pencil. I don't know if this is the case for any other schools, but for my school, for exams, you have to write in pen. And for me, I don't like making mistakes. As in, like, if I write in pen and I make a mistake, I don't like crossing it out, and also no whiteout is allowed. So what I do is I write in pencil, make sure I make the mistakes there. You know, if I make a mistake, I can erase it. And then when I'm positive about my answer, I trace it in pen, and then I erase all the pencil. So essentially, I'm going over it 3 times. Writing it once in pencil. That's not shiny, right? It is not. Writing it once in pencil, tracing it in pen, and then erasing over the whole thing. I mean, yes, I know it's a waste of time, but you know, it's good assurance knowing that there's not some sort of messy scribble on it. I did make that mistake once, so I did have to use my pen and cross it out 1 time. And it's 1 time. Y'all want to know, like, how ratchet my school is? My ghetto ass, ratchet as hell school. So earlier this morning, when I got there, like 20 minutes prior to when the midterm was starting, so I was just walking down the hallways. First thing I see when I enter the damn building was I see renovations everywhere. Every corner of the entire school, there are renovations. And I'm just thinking to myself, damn. Okay, I can physically see where all my tuition money went. Once again, like, God, I hate my school so much. They just have too much money. To the point, like, our bank account can't even fit any more bags of loot in it anymore. We have to spend some. And so every time I enter that building, there's something brand new being renovated. Every single time, I swear to God, every single time I step foot into that building, something brand new is being worked on. So early this morning, I went in and I saw every corner having something being done. So I was walking by all that. And then I walked by this table with, I think it's like the school's breakfast club or whatever. Because there were little paper bags. And whoever was there, I think it was one of the students, like, she was just handing out bags of breakfast. And I know that sounds nice, you know, that's a nice thing for my school to do, just hand out breakfast to students. But it's the other thing that was handed out that had me scratching my head, like, what the hell's wrong with my school? So, I was given a paper bag with an apple, a multi-grain bar, a juice box, an individually packaged little, package of 2 Oreos. Did I say an apple yet? It had an apple in it. It had all that, and then whoever the girl was, she opens a box, hands me a frickin' razor. It's like a starter pack razor. I'm just thinking to myself, what the hell? You gave me breakfast, great. Then you hand me a frickin' Gillette razor. I'm like, what the hell? I'm being dead serious. I was given breakfast and a Gillette's razor. Like, what is wrong with my school? You give me food and a damn razor. Well, what do you want me to do? Shave my balls with it? It was not Manscaped. I'm not joking. I'm being dead serious. They handed out like a starter pack Gillette razor. What the fuck? My school has handed out some weird stuff before. And when I mean weird, I mostly mean food. Like, they handed out bowls of cereal. They handed out grilled cheese. They handed out entire loaves of bread. But they never handed me a box of a Gillette razor. You know what I just realized? The apple I got from that breakfast, it's actually right in front of me. I forgot, I put it in my bag. And then I took it out of my bag, like, I don't know, 35 minutes ago. And it's just sitting there right in front of me on this table. The apple that I got this morning from my school is literally right in front of me. But yeah, I'm just thinking to myself, what the fuck is wrong with my school? You give me a damn razor. I showed my sister that. She was like, that's cute. And she brought up a good question. Like, do the female students, do the girls, what they get handed out? Do they get tampons? Or, you know, do girls walking by who want to pick up breakfast, they get a razor too? I don't know. I didn't stay to find out. Because I had to go to the classroom to do my midterm. And by the time I went back, it was all gone. Which, to no surprise, my midterm lasted like 2.5 hours. And it started at like 11:50 a.m. So by the time I went back, it was like 3 in the afternoon. Wait, was it? No, it was like just over 2 in the afternoon, like 2:30ish. Bro, they hand me a freaking body pillow. I would deem the school the most ratchet school on this planet. You know, that's actually it's funny. It's a funny story how I mentioned earlier that they handed out bowls of cereal. Gotta go? Alright. But yeah, it's funny. One time, I remember this. One time when I was on the campus, I was just standing there and then they just began to set up the table to give away bowls of cereal. Like, you would pick your own milk too, and you would pick the cereal you want. It's not like pre-prepared bowls with milk already in it and they just hand it to you. You pick up a bowl, you choose which cereal you want, and then you put in the milk of your choice. So I was just standing there. The table was getting set up right beside me. And I saw a line forming. I wasn't even technically in line. But because I just stood next to it, I just grabbed the bowl. I kind of just cut the entire line. Just because I was standing there as they were setting it up. At least I'm happy no one like called me out. Because technically I was just already standing there. So it's like I was already in line. But it's like I was standing in like the middle of the hallway while the table was set up on the side. So I just walked over to grab myself a bowl and I just cut the entire line. But yeah, that was my midterm story for today. That's not the end though. I'm only halfway through my midterm week. That was the toughest midterm I had, well, for the semester and possibly my life. But it's not over yet. I still have a midterm on Friday. Today's Wednesday. And then, to make it worse, the midterm I have on Friday at like 8 in the morning, right after that, I have a test. I have an in-person test. Which I didn't even mention too. Like, first of all, the test I have on Friday is a lab test. But today, my midterm was in person instead of online. And I found that to be absolute bullshit because some friends of mine who had the exact same professor last semester, they did their midterms and finals online. But for me, I'm like, what the hell is this kind of bullshit? I gotta go in person to write this? And then when I arrived, I come to find out you have the option to either write it on paper or to do your midterm on your laptop. Like an online version. I kind of wish I knew that earlier. I mean, I had my laptop with me, so I very well could have just, you know, opened my laptop, had Discord open, or like the super shitty app, WhatsApp. I could have been texting my friends like, yo, help me out with this. What's the answer? But I already prepared to write it on paper. So I'm like, you know what? I came all the way here. I'm already here. I got my pencil, my pen, my calculator. I got all that ready. I may as well just do it on the paper. Oh well, at least it's done. You know, it's done. It's over. The stress of knowing that midterm is looming over the horizon is now done and gone. You know, yes I studied and yes I left a couple questions blank, but hey, I went in, I gave it 110%, and that's all really any of us can do. Went in there, gave it 110%, and walked out to, you know, just be relieved that it's done. And just be relieved that I didn't leave every single math question blank. Even if it's wrong, at least I put something there. Yo, my boy, you still listening? Because all you said was nice at the beginning. I don't know if you bounced or what. Which is fine. I'm mostly just talking about school. I don't know how entertaining that is. You know what, now that I'm done rambling about school, let me mention that Regice right now is my longest BDSP hunt. I'm on day 18 of this hunt. I started this hunt on February 19th, I believe, and it's now March 9th. So this has now turned into my longest hunt in this game so far. I'm fully expecting Mesprit and Cresselia to both surpass this record. You know, my previous record, my longest record prior to this was Chimchar taking 17 days. But you know, that's how painful these full odds hunts can be. Sometimes you just, you know, get pretty shitty luck and nothing I can do about that. Nothing we can do about that. It's just, you know, just life. Life of a shiny hunter. I had pizza for dinner. You know, it really sucks too that it just has to be the shiny with the least amount of difference. You know, I would be fine. I would totally be fine if it was anything else. Even Zapdos. Like something with an actually noticeable difference. So if I just like walk away from the screen for a second, I can at least turn back and be like, I can see the difference. But for Regice, I gotta always pay attention. My eyes gotta be glued for the minor difference. Like, it just sucks that it has to be the worst shiny that's taking me this long. But I will persevere. I will see through it. I will not stop until I get this shiny that's ultimately not even worth it. But hey, that's the life of a shiny hunter. You do it until you get it. And you do not stop until you get it. Wonder how much of that background noise is being picked up. I got another quick story I want to tell. Actually, before I say that, before I tell that, let me just mention that tomorrow, on Thursday, I'm supposed to get the day off of work, but seems I gotta go into work tomorrow. Why, you ask? Well, my sister says she has a BTS concert to watch, a live BTS concert to watch at like 5 in the morning. So, highly doubtful that she'll wake up and actually go to work. So, I'm a fill-in. It's not like I got anything else to do anyways. Besides, you know, briefly review for that final midterm I got. And, well, this. All day, every day, until I get it. You know, 18 days, constantly just closing and reopening this one single game. I think I've more than earned, or more than deserve, than a shiny. I think I have more, what am I saying? I think I've more than earned the shiny. Like, I'm very deserving of this shiny. I'm not deserving of a passing mark in school, but 18 days doing this, I feel like I very much deserve this shiny. And I know some people out there are going to be like, I did hunts for like 3 months. I'm more deserving of the shiny than you with a mere 18 days. And yeah, I got nothing to say to that. But you're right. I just want this to end. I just want to hunt something else. Anything else but Regice. Something with a noticeable difference. It's like Registeel. If it shows up, I can walk away. I can come back and be like, oh, that's minty fresh. I can tell that's shiny. But like I said last time, if I walk away, I come back and I see a slightly different Regice. I'm like, is that shiny? Let me go through the entire process of catching it. And if it's not shiny, it's like, well, I just wasted a bunch of time. Even something like Heatran, I can at least tell with the purple eyes. Or say Zapdos with the slightly darker beak and feet. But this! Come on! And you know what I thought about too? A little while ago? The fact that all these Pokemon models, like Pokemon is 3D now, it's no longer just pixelated games. All of these 3D models, if Pokemon were to be real, if Pokemon really did exist in real life, then the shiny Regice in real life would be very disappointing. Like if you get a shiny Regice in real life, yeah, that's not a very big difference. People are gonna always question you, like, is your Regice shiny? Then you gotta, you know, send it out of its Pokeball, see the sparkle, and it's like, there, I'm proving it, it's shiny. But anyways, let me talk about this quick story that, you know, happened a couple days ago. To be honest, it happened the exact same day the last time I streamed Breath of the Wild, whenever the hell that was. I think that was the 5th. I don't remember if that happened on... I think that happened on Sunday. Or was it Saturday? Crap, I don't even remember now. It was one of those days. It was last weekend. I really don't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday. Yeah, I think it was Saturday because my sister was there at work. And she doesn't work on Sundays. So, this happened last Saturday. The most recent Saturday. And like I said, it's Wednesday right now. So, I was just at work. You know. Quote-unquote attempting to study. Mostly procrastinating. And shiny hunting. Excuse me. I was just at work minding my own business. And then an entire group of my friends show up out of nowhere. You know, so they met up to eat lunch. They had hot pot, and then they came to visit me, which, you know, once again, I wasn't invited. But, you know, they had lunch and then they came to visit me at the store. And because my sister was at the store and ain't shit happening, I was like, you know what? I'll just come hang out with you guys for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, half an hour. Walk around the mall with you guys, just chill before you guys go. Because, you know, they wasn't going to stay at the mall all day. They were just going to walk around, chat for a bit, and then get going. So I did that, you know. I left the store for maybe half an hour to 45 minutes. While my sister was, you know, captaining the ship, I guess, or piloting it. So I walked around with my friends around the mall. So after we walked around, we ended up just, you know, walking back to my store, and we just stood outside, just chatting for a bit. And then one of the homies, you know, he's, you know, a bit of a dick sometimes, but, you know, we still pals. At least I like to think so. Like, he said something that was a little distasteful, you know, that, you know, did make me a bit sad, but I still put on a smile, like, just to show that, just to try to, I don't know, go across like it's not that big a deal, which, you know, it hurt what he said. So I don't even remember how exactly, like, who brought this up, but one of my friends, I believe, asked, like, how are your dogs? And then, you know, the homie that's a bit of a dick sometimes, he's like, didn't it die? Like, he just blurted that out, and I'm just here thinking to myself, like, man, that's not cool. Like, that's very, you know, I don't know. Is that disrespectful? It's definitely distasteful. Like, you know, that hurt. That was not cool. At least to me. You know, you get brought up, you get your dogs brought up like how have they been, and then you out of nowhere is you just blur it out like didn't die. Like, and to me that just wasn't that cool. Well, I didn't really, you know, say anything about that. I was just like I was just talking to him like, wow, really, you're just gonna say it like that? I tried to hold back my emotions, but you know, well, I did. I did hold those back. Like, I just put on a smile and just went about the rest of my day. Just kept on moving forward, like moving away from that topic in our conversation. But you know, it's I don't know. Like, what? Do some people out there just think what I said wasn't that much of a big deal? Hey, buddy, what's up? I don't know. It's honestly not that big a deal, but it was just so. It was so distasteful. It was just not nice at all. I'm betting he already forgot he said it too. Like, it's not even like lingering in his mind. But it's just like that hurt, you know? That was not cool. I don't know, it's like Vision said it best. What is grief but not love persevering? And that's totally true. I never thought about it that way until he said it. But it's like, yeah, that's kind of true. And you know, I've had a history of people just straight out mocking my dogs and just making fun of me and how much I love my dogs. People out there are gonna be like, it's not like loving kids. Alright, I guess I gotta start the story over again since you didn't hear the beginning. Well, let's run it from the top. Because why not? No one's gonna hear this anyways. So, today's Wednesday. Last Saturday, the most recent Saturday that passed, I was just at work, doing my own stuff, attempting to study, but mostly just shiny hunting. So I was just at work minding my own business, and then out of nowhere, a group of my friends show up because they had went to lunch prior. They had hot pot for lunch, and then they decided to just come visit me. Which, like I mentioned earlier, they didn't invite me, but that's cool. You know, that's whatever. Something else I'm not invited to. But yeah, they just visited me at the store, and because, well, ain't shit happening at the store, and my sister was already there, so I decided to go walk around the mall with them, just chat for a bit. Because like I said, they weren't going to stay at the mall the entire time. They were just going to hang out briefly, and then they were all just going to go home. So I walked around the mall with them. We chatted for a bit, and then once we were done walking around, we just ended up back at my store. We like formed a small little circle and just had a conversation outside my store. So I don't remember exactly how the topic got brought up, but I believe what happened was voice crack. One of the homies, he brought up the question, how are your dogs? And then friend of mine who's a bit of a dick sometimes, he just blurted out, didn't it die? And you know, that to me, that just wasn't cool. Like, that's not something nice to say. But I didn't really confront him about it or anything. I just like put on a smile and just moved away from that topic. But I don't know, and just in my mind, that just wasn't that cool. Like, that's just not something nice to say. You ask how your dogs are, and then you just blurt out, "Didn't it die?" I know I can't keep like lingering over this for, I don't know. It's been almost, well, let me think. It's been almost 2 years since he passed. I can't go on the rest of my life always getting teary-eyed just whenever he gets. I'm about to get teary-eyed now, but it's like I can't, start crying like 50 years from now, thinking like, you know, I don't know. Is it like not that big a deal though? The fact that all he said was "Didn't it die?" To me, it just wasn't that it wasn't that cool of a thing to say. Like, it's not that nice at all. You just don't say that. It's like, replace dog with a family relative. Like, how's your mother been? Didn't she die? Like, imagine if that was spoken out loud. Probably could have said it better. Could have not said it at all. Could have not brought that up. I was asked a very simple question, like, how have your dogs been? And then, homie of ours, he just blurted out, "Didn't it die?" I mean, yes, of course that one simple line bothers me, but it's like, what am I gonna do? Well, what? I'm gonna confront him, like demand he apologizes. Or like, I doubt he even remembers he said it. Even if I make the dunderhead assumption or whatever, like I pull a dumbass move and actually do confront him about it or whatever, he's like, "Bro, why are you making such a big deal out of this? Like, I'm sorry, okay?" It's like what do I expect? Like, what? I don't need him to get on his knees and beg me for his forgiveness or whatever. But it's just something that you don't do. You just don't blast out loud, "Didn't it die?" But yeah, I was saying earlier, like, what is grief but not love persevering? Quote by Vision. And you know what? I've had a history in my life where, like, my life has had a history of people just flat out mocking me and, being very disrespectful to me just because of how much I love my dogs. It's I don't see people mocking others for how much they love their parents, or you don't see people mocking parents for how much they love their kids. But in my case, I got I got teased so much because of how much I love my dogs. To the point I had a goddamn teacher of mine constantly make fun of me just because of how much I loved my dogs. It's like, well, no, what am I gonna do? I'll just take all the punches, like I suppose the punching bag that I am to this world. And I'll just constantly put on a smile, just move forward. Just take it all in and just move forward. It's like, what did I do in the past to deserve this? Did I wrong these people in a way to deserve this kind of treatment? You know what? That's probably the case. I've probably done that a lot in my life, but it's like, the fact that I don't even remember whatever it is like, does that make it worse? I wronged you at some point in the past. What did I do? Like, does that make it worse? I don't even remember what that story was. No, that's just a quick little story that happened not even a week ago. And you know, that just sets like a basis for like, that's gonna be the rest of my life too. Anytime in the future someone brings up how are your dogs doing, someone's bound to, you know, think about his previous dogs all died. You know, like 50 years from now. Not even 50 years from now. How about like 20 years from now? Like, that's an inevitable thought. I'm gonna have more pets in the future. And you know, they're all bound to age and pass away. That's just how life is. But the same thing's just going to happen in the future whenever I get asked a very simple question: how are they doing? And you know, it's a very it's a very nice thing to ask, like just asking like how are they in general? And then you got dicks like a buddy of mine who well, doesn't burp, but you know, he just blurs out, "Oh yeah, they died." Well, this is just the type of shit I gotta deal with in my life. How long is the longest hunt? This hunt currently is 18 days. I'm currently on day 18 for doing this. My longest one in this game before this was 17 days. So this being 18 days now makes this my longest hunt. I've had longer hunts before. I had one that took 6 months of me doing it on and off. So 18 days is honestly not that big a deal, but it's just, you know. This shiny in particular is like, why does this one have to take the longest? Because the difference is damn near nothing. I would be fine shiny hunting anything else and it taking like twice as long as this. Because at least I can see the difference. But for this one, because the difference is so minimal, I have to have my eyes glued on the screen all the time just to make sure, like, is it shiny? Because if it was something else, I can look away. And if I come back, I can actually see a difference. This one, I gotta pay attention. If I look away, I look back and I think it's shiny, I gotta go through the whole process of catching it. And if it's not shiny, well, I just wasted a bunch of time. But yeah, today is currently day not 19, day 18. About to head into day 19 of restarting this game over and over for something that changes very slightly. You know, other shinies, they change significantly. Damn near the whole design. All the colors are different. But for this one, nah, it's just like we just go one higher on turning the hue up. We made the contrast 1% more strong. And well, job well done. That's a job. That's a day's worth of job right there. What? That's all the work we're going to do today, simply just, you know, slightly upping it. Well, that's a paycheck right there. You know, like I said in the past, they have every power to change shinies. They've done it before. Some shinies that are garbage, they've gone back and changed it. Or actually, some shinies that were decent in the past, they changed it to make it worse. But still, they have every power to change it. They do not change this one. One of the shittiest shinies ever. But it's like, you know what? It's cool. You know, you just keep on pumping out games, printing that money. So what are you up to? What you up to? I haven't been working out the past few days, mostly because I had to study for my midterm. So earlier tonight, before I started this, in fact, before I even had dinner, I made up for 2 days worth of working out. So tonight I'm gonna be hitting the treadmill, but I'm still a day behind. So tomorrow I gotta do 2 days worth of workout, which I already did. 2 more days worth of workout today. Today I gotta make up for 3 days. I know that sounds confusing, but it makes sense in my mind. Oh, you guys want to hear something interesting I found out in terms of anime? Which I can't believe all this much time has passed. Oh, also tomorrow's Mario Day too. Tomorrow's March 10th. The day this is going to be posted. It's Mario Day tomorrow. But yeah, in terms of Sword Art Online, I watched Season 1 all the way back in 2016. And I never continued that. I liked the first half of Season 1. Second half of Season 1 with the Alfheim arc. Yeah, that was a little weird. You know, the villain of that arc, I want to rip his spine out. But yeah, I only ever saw Season 1. I never saw Season 2 and anything after. I got curious and I looked up the other day, like, just how much content there is. I found out there's only 3 seasons. And Season 4 is coming out somewhat soon. I'm just thinking, wow, I thought this show had, like, dozens of seasons. And, like, dozens of movies as well. I come to find out there's, like... Well, Google's not really helpful with this. I looked up SAO films. 2 showed up. But then I see in other places there's, like, a 3rd film. It's like, well, which is it? Are there 2 movies or are there 3? Now that I know there's, like, not as much content as I thought there was, I may just catch up. Because I only ever saw Season 1. I'm probably going to rewatch Season 1. I'm going to hate rewatching the second half. Because, you know, I hate that guy. I don't even care to know his name. You know what's funny? When Kirito was about to kill him, I'm just like, yes, yes, I want him dead. Kill him. And then he was, you know, he had the knife to his throat in the real life. In the real world, outside the hospital. I'm like, wait a second. No, not here. You outside a hospital. There are security cameras. Not now. Don't kill him now. You're gonna ruin your life. I want him dead, but not like this. Like, kill him another time, but not right now where there are security cameras. But yo, it was satisfying though to see, like, the pain tolerance be dropped down to 0 and then him being completely smeared. Yo, that was satisfying. I would have done more than just, you know, cut off his hand, I think. Cut off his like, detach him from his torso and then just impale him through the head. Like, I would have done more. I would have done way more. But, you know, at least he felt all of that. I never saw Season 2 or anything onwards because I hear Season 2 sucked. I always said I was going to catch up and watch the rest of it eventually. And here I am 6 years later, only haven't seen season 1. It's like, I think eventually has really been long enough. I think it's time for me to catch up. 6 years of me saying I'm gonna catch up, and I'm still only having seen season 1. I think it's time. And the fact that cracking my knuckles here, the fact that midterms is almost over, it's like, well, this is a decently good time. I got a couple other shows I need to catch up on too. But it's like, once I'm done those, I'm gonna need something else to fill in. God, I'm really hating this Regice, because it is just not shining. You know, I've gotten more lucky on my hunts in Shining Pearl than Brilliant Diamond. Brilliant Diamond, my luck has been garbage. In comparison, honestly. Let me think. In Shining Pearl, I got my Shiny Piplup up in a couple hours. Shiny Articuno, yes, that took 16 days. But then Zapdos took me 7 days. And then Moltres, I got 3 shinies in the span of 6 days. Despite me failing 2 of them. But for Brilliant Diamond, Chimchar took me 17 days. Regirock took me 11 days, and now here I am, 18 days and going for Regice, and it's like, yeah, that's way worse. I would very much like to, you know, begin hunting Registeel. Just hunt something else. But if fate deems me not worthy of that just yet, then, well, I can't do anything about that. Can't do anything until I get this fucking shiny Regice. And then be able to move on with my life. Just gonna go through this one shiny at a time. See, I don't dual hunt for a reason. Like, if I have my Switch Lite, I could very well have, you know, put my Shining Pearl in that game and shiny hunt Regice while I'm doing this, like hunt it on 2 different consoles, on 2 different games. The reason I don't like to do that, and I don't want to do that, is because I want to get the shinies on one specific copy. You know, the Kanto Birds are a different story, because those are version exclusives. So it would feel weird to me if, for example, right now Diamond is my main game. I play mostly on Diamond. It would feel weird to me if, you know, things that I could hunt in this game I got from that game, and I just gave up on it on this. For example, like if I got Regirock shiny on Diamond, I got a Regice from Pearl that's shiny, and I transferred it over. But then the Regice from the Diamond version, I just caught normally. And then I got a shiny Registeel in Diamond. I would get 2 out of 3 shinies in Diamond, the main game I have. It's like, I'd rather just get all 3 on the same game. So that's why I'd rather not dual hunt. And then for those who would bring up the argument, like, if you catch the shiny in the other game, why not just continue hunting it on your main game until you get that as well? You get 2 shinies. It's like, well, what's the point? I'm mostly just here to get 1. Just getting it from the main game. Like, I don't need a second one. I technically don't need any of these shinies. I already got all these shinies in Sword and Shield. I'm just doing it for the sake of, you know, the challenge and the completion. Like, how many people out there can say, I caught every legendary available shiny in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl? I will be one of those people capable of saying that one day. Just gotta work for it, like I am right now. No matter how long it takes. Which is my concern, though. Like, once Scarlet and Violet shows up, I mean, like, once those games release, I can guarantee I will not be done hunting here. Because, you know, I still got entire long-ass hunts like Mesprit and Cresselia, those being roamers. I expect those to take at least 3 times as long as this Regice is taking. What's 18 times 3? Let me pull out my best friend, my favorite desktop game, Calculator. So let's see, I need to take a stick for a weapon, give it to the Sideways Infinity, and then I need to match it with a, you know, pair of binoculars. 54, yeah. I was joking about all that. It's like the way Richard said it. I've discovered this game on my computer. It's called Calculator. Hey, I got a new high score. But sometimes the game doesn't work. Like if you take one of these characters, you divide it by 0, and the game crashes. But anyways, 54. So that's 54 days. That's just under 2 months, which is very, very generous for full odds roamers to be hunted. So I'm saying at the very best, Mesprit and Cresselia will take about 2 months. Making, you know, Regice taking 18 days look like nothing. I will do it though, for the sake of completion. Like the end results, though, like having the entire box full of all the legendaries available in the game being shiny, that end result right there is worth it. Why do you think I was motivated to hunt everything in Sword and Shield? Excuse me. Because hunting everything in that game took me 11 months. At least in that game, I had time. Like, I had enough time to finish hunting before the next game came out. But this game, nah. Nah, son. I ain't got that much time. Assuming the new game drops in November. It's March now, so I got just about 9 months to get all of these. I have 29 to hunt, and I've only gotten 4. I ain't about to get 25 more shinies in 9 months. That's not impossible, but it's not very likely either. I could get very lucky with each one of my hunts going forward, and I could be done by next week. But mathematically, the probability of that is astronomically low. I've had enough math for a day, for a lifetime. You know, my midterm this morning was at like 11:40 in the morning. I woke up a little too early. I had my alarm set for 9 a.m. I woke up before my alarm even went off. I woke up like 8:30-ish. I tried to lie in bed and go back to sleep for like half an hour. Yeah, I didn't do that. I just lied there. I just laid there and did not sleep. How'd I do? Fingers crossed, I pass. That's all I can hope for. Fingers crossed that I pass. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but when I did my midterm, the first thing I did was I jumped to the very back, and I did all the math questions, all the questions I needed to calculate stuff for. You know, while how to calculate them was still fresh in my mind from reviewing last night, while they were still fresh in my mind, that's what I did. I just immediately jumped to doing all the math stuff. And then, like I said this earlier, I don't know if other schools do this, but for my school, midterms and finals, they have to be written in pen, not pencil. So, because I'd rather not make a mistake, you know, have it look super messy, use a pen and cross out my mistakes, what I do is first I write in pencil. That way if I have any mistakes, I can erase it and then just rewrite it. So first I write in pencil, then I trace the whole thing in pen, and then I go back and erase all the pencil. So I essentially go in 3 times for one problem. It's a waste of time, yes, but hey, it's worth it to make sure it's nice and tidy. And like I said earlier, I did make one mistake with the pen, so I did have to cross it out. But it's just one mistake. I've been doing that for a long time too, like writing everything in pencil first, tracing it with pen, and then erasing all the pencil. Just to make sure like it's nice and tidy. Excuse me. You know, the last time I hunted full odds and it got close to taking this long was Moltres and Let's Go. That took me, I believe, 22 days? Either 21 or 22. So 3 weeks. I'm getting a gut feeling this hunt not only gets to that point, but may even surpass it. Maybe 3.5 weeks for this freaking block of ice. But yeah, anyways, you asked me how I did on the midterm. So I filled out every math question, which thank goodness I reviewed. Because if I didn't know how to do any of those math problems, I would have left like 6 questions blank. 6 questions worth of long answers blank. Worth of calculating, I mean. There was also a couple of short answer questions. There was 1 long answer, and then there was like 35 multiple choice. I knew how to do some of the multiple choice. Some of them were calculating as well. Excuse me. My voice cracked. Some of them were also calculating. I knew how to do those. Thanks to a formula sheet I was permitted to have with me. But majority of the multiple choice I just guessed. Because, you know, I didn't study the theory. All my time was reviewing the math questions. So because I didn't study the theory, I did not know what to do for the short and long answer. I bullshitted most of it, and I had to leave some of them blank because I genuinely had no idea what to answer. Also, I was running out of time. So, like 3 questions left blank. All the math questions were answered. And, you know, majority of the multiple choice were guessed. So, fingers crossed, all I can hope for is a pass. You know, I can't hope for like an A+, or even like a B-. Just write in pen and bring whiteout. We're not allowed whiteout. Like, whiteout is not allowed. They don't give a fuck about messy? Well, my school does. Because my school, they always quote-unquote try to teach you how to act in the real world. Like, in my line of field, whiteout means you have something to hide. Like, whiteout doesn't mean a mistake was made. Whiteout means you're hiding something in my line of field. So, that's what the school is teaching you. The school is teaching you don't use whiteout. The school just flat out is teaching us just don't make mistakes. Then just cross it out. Well, that's the other part too. The professors, they always teach you like make it nice and tidy. So that's why I write it in pencil first, then I trace it to make sure it's tidy. Burping a lot. It was all that pizza I ate earlier. I had like 3 slices. But yeah, my school is essentially teaching us just don't make mistakes. Everything must be perfect. You are not allowed to be human and make mistakes. God damn, I still gotta run on the treadmill after this. Then I gotta wash my hair and then let it dry. And then I can finally go to sleep. Because like I said, I woke up a little too early this morning. And then I got work tomorrow on a day that I should not have work. Because, like I mentioned this earlier, my sister has like a live BTS concert to watch at like 5 in the morning. I think she said it lasts for 3 hours. I mean, hey, if it was something I was into that was, I don't know, live streaming at like 5 in the morning, I would wake up and watch. I don't know, what would that be though for me? Like an Amiibo documentary of how it's made? I don't know. I probably would not wake up to watch that. God, I'm really hating this block of ice, because it's just not turning a slightly darker blue. You know, I think it's been 9 days since the last time I've gotten any shinies across any games. The last shiny I got was Shiny Executor. Shiny Alolan Executor in Pokemon Go. And I got that February 28th. And it's now March 9th. So I have not gotten a single shiny in the month of March yet. That is unacceptable. So when's the shiny? If it was up to me, it'd be right now. Nah, you know what? If it was up to me, it would have happened long ago. Maybe I should just leave the stream so you can get your shiny. Boy, you seem like you left the stream the whole time. Well, I will continue to do this no matter how long it takes. Like, my biggest concern for shiny hunting in this game is the time. Because like I said, Scarlet and Violet's coming out possibly in November, which is 9 months away from this moment. If I'm not done hunting in this game, and then the new games come out, like, I just pray, I just hope so badly that the same thing is not in those games where every legendary is available and they could all be shiny hunted. If that's the case again, and if it's all full odds again, I ain't doing it again. But if it's, you know, lowered odds, well, then I have a dilemma. It's like, do I continue shiny hunting in BDSP? I've already started, I may as well see it to the end. Or do I, you know, it's like, how do I determine which game do I hunt in? Do I, like, go back and forth each day between games? Like, that's not very practical. Like, I'd rather complete an entire set of shiny hunting in one game than move on to the next. You know, I did everything in Sword and Shield, and then I did the 4 legendaries in Let's Go. And now I'm doing this, every legendary in BDSP. Legends Arceus, the legendaries in those games are shiny locked, so it's like, in a way, kind of a sigh of relief from me. Although I really wish in that game, Arceus was shiny huntable. The one Pokemon I wanted to get shiny from that game. And then Enamorus, when that got leaked, I would have liked to get a shiny of that. But those are locked. It's like, what a shame, but also thank you for, you know, easing my workload. What's scary is, I have so many more legendaries to hunt in this game. All of them have the potential to not only take as long as this, but even longer. Like, way longer, too. It's not impossible for not only one, but a good chunk of these hunts to take like a month each to hunt. And I also got 25 of these mugs to hunt. Because out of 29, I've only gotten 4. I think I mentioned this last time, but like, before anyone questions, what do you mean 29? Aren't there only like 26 legendaries in this game? Well, I'm also counting mythicals. I'm also counting Shaman, because the event just came out. I'm going to do that eventually. I'm counting Fione, because I got to breed a Manaphy for that. And assuming that one day there's going to be a Darkrai event and it can be hunted. If not, well, great. One less shiny for me to hunt. So at the very most, 29. But if Darkrai never happens, then 28. Like 26 legendaries and 2 or 3 mythicals. You know, if only there was one more to make it a clean 30. That's why I was hoping Arceus could be shiny huntable. Could be shiny hunted and like sent over to this game. There's gonna be connectivity between the two games for sure, but it's like, well, can't get a shiny Arceus. That's a damn shame. I would have loved to hunt it for a better version of God. Or a more rare version, I should say. Hey, yo, what's your favorite design for Arceus? Like, when you change its typing, you change its color too? What color is your favorite design for Arceus? For me, I really like the way water type Arceus looks when shiny. The blue with the yellow body, that just looks really nice to me. I don't really know for normal Arceus though. I don't know, the electric Arceus looks kind of nice. So does the steel. I wish fire was, you know, more red than orange. But in terms of my favorite Arceus design, would be the shiny water type. Like, that's the one that looks the best to me. Like, the blue and yellow just contrast and complement so nicely. You know something else I want to watch, but I just don't have time? Is Pokemon Journeys. There's like, what, 90-something episodes right now, I think? I honestly have no idea. I want to watch that. I haven't watched since X and Y. I ain't watching Sun and Moon. But I want to watch Pokemon Journeys, but I just don't have time. Because the new opening just got posted. You know, Paul's returning. So is Greninja. Clement and Bonnie are returning. It's like, yeah, I want to watch this. You know, the one character everyone wants to see return, but it's like, the Pokemon company is just like, no, we know you want this. We will deny you this. They really don't want to bring back Serena. They just don't even want to bother with that. You know, she kissed him at the very end, and it's like, well, we're never going to come back to this. They're probably thinking to themselves, we know if we bring her back, we gotta cover that. We gotta talk about that. So we're just never going to bring her back. We're never going to talk about that. I mean, it's not impossible. How long has Tracy been absent from the anime? 18 years? So they very well could do that. Tracy was a traveling companion. And then he got completely forgotten for like damn near 2 decades. I would not be surprised if Pokemon Journey ends and Serena never shows up. I'd be disappointed, but I would not be surprised. Like, the Pokemon anime has just disappointed me so many times with their storytelling in the past. It's like, I'm not even surprised anymore. I'll do this for 10 more minutes. When it hits 11 p.m., then I'll call it a night. You know, a couple nights ago, I actually got like 12 hours of sleep for the first time in a very long time. It was after I had an online meeting for a final review for the midterm I had today. The meeting started at like 7:30 and lasted until like 10 p.m. So 2.5 hours. And I think I had already woken up earlier that day as well, like earlier than normal. Yeah, I did. No, that was Monday. Right, Monday I have an 8 a.m. class, so I woke up at like 7:30 to prepare for an 8 a.m. class. And then after class, I went to work. After work, I quickly had dinner. Then I attended the online meeting for 2.5 hours. And then it ended at 10. I'm like, bro, I'm so tired. I just laid in bed and I just decided to take a nap. I ended up taking a nap until like 1 in the morning. Like 1 a.m. And then I'm like, I'm still tired. I may as well just get up, brush my teeth, get a drink of water, and just go back to bed. Just go back to sleep. Just sleep until the morning. And that's exactly what I did. And then I slept until like around 10 a.m. Not 10 a.m. 10 p.m. Wait. No, it is 10 a.m. My bad. I'm stupid. So I went to bed around 10 p.m. for a quick nap. Slept until like 1 in the morning. Got up for like maybe half an hour to just get ready for bed again. And then I slept until like 10 a.m. So I got little under 12 hours of sleep, which was nice. That was the first time in a very long time I had almost 12 hours of sleep. I'm sure if I just simply got into bed earlier, that would happen more often. But I just got too much stuff I want to do. Too many videos to watch, too many games to play. The time I spent lying in bed trying to sleep early could be time I could be spent shiny hunting. You know, priorities. I got new games coming in 9 months. Every second counts in terms of this shiny hunt. So, you guys have any closing thoughts before I end this in about 7 minutes? Guess not. You know what? Here's a quick little closing topic I had in mind. Study. Like, alright, I talked about Spider-Man No Way Home in a previous stream, but there's something else I want to bring up. That film came out a while ago, so I don't think there's a need to say spoilers. Everyone's seen it by now. But there's just something about that film that just doesn't feel right to me. I know it's an amazing film, everyone loves it, but something about that film just doesn't feel right to me. It's mostly the implications that the film has with the MCU Peter Parker. Like, I'm fine with, you know, how Peter Parker was portrayed in the previous 2 iterations, but the way that Tom Holland's Peter Parker is in the MCU just doesn't feel right to me. You know, Tom Holland's Peter Parker has no Uncle Ben, has no Oscorp, has none of that. And, you know, the MCU version of Spider-Man, that stuff all coming from the multiverse doesn't feel right to me. Like, that stuff wasn't in his home universe. He's relying on Norman Osborn, a character coming from a different universe. That just doesn't feel right to me. You know, like, assuming Peter never heard of Norman Osborn, he has no idea who Norman Osborn is before No Way Home. Like, does that mean there's no Oscorp in the MCU? If that's the case, where'd the spider bite come from? And then the MCU has such a hard-on for refusing to mention Uncle Ben. It's like, I guess Uncle Ben doesn't exist in the MCU. I swear to God, he better. Spider-Man freshman year, they better bring up Uncle Ben. I'll be very upset if they do a Peter Parker backstory and there is no Uncle Ben. I will be extremely furious. But just the idea of relying on the multiverse to introduce this Peter Parker to all these big Spider-Man characters just doesn't feel right to me. You know, I said this at the start, but I don't like the MCU origin for Venom being the multiverse. Like, Venom just doesn't exist in that universe. At least if he does, he's not on Earth. So relying that, you know, the Venom saga of the next Spider-Man stories, relying on from the multiverse, that just doesn't feel right to me. And, you know, it's also, for this part, you have to look at real life history. Like, why, out of the entire multiverse, infinite numbers of Peter Parker, it's just a coincidence that it's these 2 versions that we've seen prior in previous films. It's just a coincidence that they specifically came over. It's like we didn't get a random Peter Parker played by a random brand new actor. We just happened to coincidentally get the same Peter Parkers, the 2 different versions that we've seen previously. You could say, like, this is now added context. Like, we now, thanks to this film, those previous films are now, like, we see what happened in their universes rather than, you know, we got 2 iterations prior and we just want to cross them all over. But I don't know, there's just something about No Way Home and relying on so many tropes from the multiverse just doesn't feel right to me. I love the film. The film's great. But it's all the things that it implies, you know? No Oscorp, no Uncle Ben, no Doc Ock or Electro, or even a Kurt Connors in the MCU. There was a Curtis Connors on both Toby and Andrew's Earth. There was a Norman Osborn on both Earths, but none of that exists in the MCU, which I think just why. That's just a quick little ramble about No Way Home. The fact that I love the film, but there's just things that just doesn't feel right to me. You know, coincidentally, it's just the same two different Peter Parkers that we've seen before. They're here now. Out of infinite Peter Parkers, it's just a coincidence these two showed up. Which I love. I love the fan service, but you know, it's like where's the logic? Like, why is that the case? Why is it specifically these two? You know what I am hoping for, though? I am hoping for the characters to cameo in the next Spider-Verse film. Because if... I really don't... Where is Wayne Enterprises? That's a good question. But yeah, that's like, why is there no Oscorp in the MCU? That pisses me off so much. And no Uncle Ben. That pisses me off too. But what was I saying? And I was saying this. I was texting someone this too. Green Goblin. The glow up is nice, but it just doesn't feel like Green Goblin to me without the mask. The suit being green with a hint of purple, yes, that's very Green Goblin, but without the mask, just Norman Osborn's face with a hood over and a pair of goggles, that's like that just doesn't scream Green Goblin to me. All I see from that is Willem Dafoe in a Green Goblin costume. Like I said before, Willem Dafoe is so iconic. I don't even see Norman Osborn. I just see Willem Dafoe. Meeting done. Where's the shiny? I can go for like a couple more minutes just until I'm done rambling. But yeah, it's just... it doesn't feel right to me. The film doesn't feel right despite it being such a great film. I was also saying this too, to the same person I was texting. Peter's new homemade suit at the very end was fantastic. I love that new suit. I really hope that, you know, he makes his own suits moving forward, and the suits he makes are comic accurate. I watched a Batman movie, not yet. I want to, but not yet. Of course I'm going to see that at some point. I've heard mixed things about that film. I've seen some people say it's fantastic, and yet I've seen on Twitter some people fell asleep during the film because it was so damn boring. I don't know, I'll judge it for myself. Anyways, I was texting this person. I'm really hoping Peter's new suits that he designs on his own, they're comic accurate. Like, give me a comic accurate stealth suit. You know, with the green and sometimes the orange, and not that ugly ass Night Monkey suit. Stupid ass name for a suit. Also, like, if Peter makes himself an Iron Spider suit, please let it be comic accurate. I would have much preferred the comic accurate live action spiders, like Iron Spider suit. It's gonna be a little difficult making himself a brand new Iron Spider suit without Stark Tech, because everyone forgot who he is, so Edith would not recognize him. And, you know, Peter's not just gonna wander into Stark Industries, be like, yeah, let me just use some of Tony Stark's old tech to make myself a new costume. You know, funny you should mention the Batman film, because I saw on Twitter earlier tonight, Colin Farrell's The Penguin, like he's getting his own spin-off, a limited series on HBO Max. Of course, I'm going to watch that. But it's like what a transformation it is from Colin Farrell to Oswald Cobblepot. It's like he looks so different. I can't even believe it's the same person. Whoops. Just dropped my phone on my computer. You know what's funny though? I saw a featurette for No Way Home. Turns out majority of the scenes with the Spider-Man mask, those were CGI as well. The scenes of Toby and Andrew, them putting on their masks, the mask was CGI. The actors were mostly just wearing the suit. They didn't actually have a mask. It's like, god damn, so much is CGI. And you know what some of my favorite scenes from No Way Home are? It's not even all the CGI fighting. I much prefer the scenes where all three Peters were just talking. Those are my favorite scenes in the film. See, look, I'm looking at Twitter right now. One of my friends from college, he literally tweeted this. Batman was mid. Also, I can't be the only one who bothered. Wait, the only one bothered by his hair. Didn't look like Bruce Wayne to me. See, I'm seeing a lot of mixed reactions from this Batman film, so I'm definitely going to see it myself. I don't know. His hair seems fine to me. It's a little longer. Alright, this will be my last reset for the night. And also, doesn't this film take place in like... I don't know what year this film takes place in. The 60s? I really don't know. Like the 80s? Might be the 80s. I don't know. The 90s? Alright, come on. One last reset. Nope. Well, day 18 of no shiny Regice. Well, I'm gonna call it there for tonight. Of course, I'll keep hunting this on my own time, but just gonna stop streaming. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Bye now.